that built up to it. But why governor and not a state representative?
Well, to any of the young people who think there's not hope, I just want you to think about this for a second. The Congress of the United States of America will have to change their policies in the next 2 months to accommodate for the first time somebody who's going to be wearing a head covering, hijab, because we've got now 1 or 2 Muslim American congresswomen who are about to take office in these United States of America. There's a lot of hope. I'll also say this. I was sitting with my younger brother, and we were trying to play a song on Spotify, stuff for one. And we were getting really frustrated because the song wouldn't come on to Spotify. And I laughed for a second because my little brother's about 8 years younger than I am, and I told him, you know, Zema, when we were young, if you wanted to have a song you could regularly listen to, you had to wait until it came on the radio, and then you had to tape record it, and then inevitably your mom would come yelling at you at like minute 1:30, and that would be indelibly part of your song. Our generation sometimes thinks that these things are immediate, that gratification comes like this. That's not the way the world works. Right? You put your shoulder into the work, and you better be ready to put your shoulder into work for the rest of your life. The work doesn't end. And soon enough, you hand it off to somebody else. But the reality of it is the work doesn't end. But there are really, really incredible things down the line. And for me, it was about asking myself, what's my responsibility to the work that I care about doing? I was rebuilding a health department whose funding comes mainly from the federal government. And I asked myself, what is this individual going to do to that funding? What's going to happen to these kids, and what's the best way that I can serve? And I realized that I had to be about being able to set an agenda that actually valued the lives of children like them, and made sure that we were protecting access to those fundings, not just being a part of, just executing. And that's the moment where I realized that the best thing I could be doing in that moment, I felt, was to be running, and that's why I ran.
What was the response when you told your family I'm going to run for governor?
Well, I just have to say that there are 2 real heroes of this, maybe 3, 2.5 real heroes. The first is my wife Sarah, who is here with our daughter, who was born in the middle of the campaign, by the way. And you know, when I told Sarah that I think I want to do this, she never questioned it, not a second. She said, you know, she'd always just told me, she's like, yeah, someday I knew you were going to say this. I didn't realize you were going to come this early, but someday I knew we were going to have this conversation. And she said, let's do it. Look, if that's what you believe that we need to be doing right now, let's do it. And my family, my in-laws, with whom I actually lived, running for governor doesn't pay very well. So we moved in with my in-laws, and you can imagine sitting down with your in-laws and saying, hey, so I'm going to spend 18 months on the road all over the state of Michigan, asking other people for their money, not earning a dime, and by the way, Sarah's pregnant. Right? You can imagine how bad that conversation would go. But they never questioned once. They said, what's the maximum contribution we can make? And they wrote me those 2 checks, and they said, whatever you need, we're behind you. My parents, one of the beautiful things that I always am very thankful about my parents is that whenever I told them I wanted to do something, they never said you can't do that. Or maybe aim a little bit lower. They would just say, are you ready to do the work? If you're ready to do the work, then get out there and do it. And they were really supportive, so I'm really, really thankful for them now. A lot of the community more broadly were like, what are you doing? That's crazy. And much of the early opposition actually came from the Muslim community. Now, to their credit, they came on board, and they came on board in a big way. But it took them a moment to come on board. And it's a lesson I think we need to learn about our community. Sometimes we take our cues not from our beliefs and our ideals, but we take our cues from how other people are going to look at us. There was always the question of like, well, Abdul, if you run, like, it might reflect poorly on the community. And I was like, okay, but tell me whether or not you think we're being reflected so well in the current crop of elected leadership as it stands. So.
Now, as far as when you decided to run, I think sometimes it's a mystery. People who might be interested in politics, do you just say, hey, I'm going to run for governor? I mean, isn't there a lot of work behind the scenes? And that can kind of be a turn-on at some point for people.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but it's work worth doing. Anybody who's ever started an organization or built a business or decided to try something hard, it's really hard work. And there are moments where you're saying, this is never going to succeed. I'm never going to take off. And you do the work anyway. And Mariam, I have to say, you've had this incredible career as a journalist. which is not an area where we commonly find people with your name and who wear hijab. What have been your barriers?
I've had none. I'm going to turn the question to you because you're doing a politician move and you're trying to say it back to me. As far as you're running for political office and moving forward, I did pose a question on social media. People want to know, will you run again? And they're ready and willing to get out the vote.
Inshallah. And the kind of inshallah that says, like, I actually intend to do this someday, but I also know I've got a 1-year-old at home, and there's a lot of work. And I think sometimes we can be a little bit impatient, and there's a question of, do you want to go faster, or do you want to go together further? And I think it behooves us to step back sometimes and ask, what does wisdom dictate me to do? And so I'm, weighing it, starting by talking about it, having conversations with folks, and thinking about what the right next step is. Inshallah, if there's an opportunity, and I feel like I can serve and do the job well, then maybe the guy's out of the room.
One or two final questions here. I think there is also a fear when people do want to run for office about the Islamophobic content that will come out. People are going to dig out your past, people are going to slam you. Is it worth risking your reputation for stuff that might not even be true?
They're going to do that. That's the nature of this work. And I want people to think about, we look up to the Prophet, peace be upon him, and think about all the things that they said and did to him. I mean, at the end of the day, truth bears out. And if you walk your path, attempting to bring to it the character and the dignity with which you want to lead, people see through your name and everything else. We earned, thankfully, 340,000 votes. And those were votes from all over the state of Michigan. And there were people voting for somebody beyond a name, beyond a faith, but voting for somebody because they believed that this person had their best interest in mind. I had a friend of mine, we didn't win our election, and a friend of mine from this community, actually, Shakib Alam, who's just been an incredible supporter for people running for office. And I told him afterwards, I said, I hope that you don't feel like this was a waste of your time and energy and a failure. He said, you gave me something I never thought I'd see before. He came to the rally we did with Bernie Sanders, and it was about 2,500 people. And he said, I watched 2,500 people who were predominantly non-Muslim chanting a Muslim name. I never thought I would ever see that. And my daughter, who's 10 years old, got to see that happen. And that fundamentally changes the way she thinks about what's possible. And that was more than worth it. And so the Islamophobia is real. You know you're going to get it. But at some point you say, what's the bigger picture, right? And what am I doing this for? And in the end, people see beyond it. It's a beautiful thing.
Well, I want to thank Dr. Abdul El-Sayed for his time and for being candid with us. We're going to hold you hostage a little while longer because we have some awards to hand out to our high school valedictorians. So I'd like to call the valedictorians up to the stage, but let's give one more round of applause for them. Alright, so I'd like to call to the stage Malak Yahya from Aqsa School, Ridgeview, Furqan Ali, CPSA Lombard, Zara Sayed,